Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Jahred from Head PE, and you're listening to Louder.
So here with Jahred
Yay!
of Head PE. Finally, we had a rough day.
I'm out here. I'm in charge. I'm the singer. I'm the tour manager. I'm the merch kid. Not so much of a kid anymore, but so I'm wearing a lot of hats out here. So my day is very full, compared to when you're just singing. It's like you're not doing much with your day, but I'm working pretty hard out here.
Well, it keeps you busy and energized and invested in it.
Yeah, well, the motivations have changed, like I said, on stage, but it's just true. Like 20 years ago, when I signed my first record deal, I was like a drug addict, just chasing skirts around, so that was the motivation, was to kind of party and to get laid. 20 years later, though, I'm all grown up and I'm a father and I'm serious about being a good husband. So it takes a lot of my focus, but that's what propels me to do this music still, is because it provides for me the best way to provide for my family. And plus it's my heart, music. So, my wife and son, they really keep me going these days.
So it's gonna help me go into the next question.
Yeah.
You call everyone your family.
Yeah.
Okay, the fans are your family. The guys
because
around.
I don't like the name fan. Oh, I have fans. Like, that's short for fanatic, Okay. So to me, it's like family. In the States, the underground, we say family a lot, but I really take it seriously as like a human family. We are all a family. We're all connected. So I like the word family. And I mean it when I say it,
And I follow you guys online, and I see that you guys get a lot of help from your fans. I think you asked for a driver in the UK. I think a few months ago you asked for help printing new T-shirts.
Yeah.
What was else? I think there was one more thing. Oh, you got gear from another band, I think, when you toured with Skindred.
Yeah.
Did I get everything right?
Yeah, Facebook is interesting because I don't use it the way I see normal people using it. But as a way to stay connected with the Head PE family and the friends of Head PE, it's just invaluable. Especially on this tour, I met the most gracious British people. And that I don't know how I would have done this tour if I didn't have actual help from people I met on Facebook, British people on Facebook. For instance, this got secured for me by a lawyer, a female lawyer that I met on Facebook, who's just been helping me ever since. She's known Head PE since she was a teenager. Now she's grown up and a lawyer. So that's really great, There's a lot of kids who are grown up now who are helping Head PE, and it's just great, because we're not rich and we're not like, huge bands. So, because, I've been in the position where you're kind of big and everything's taken care of for you. All you have to do is just go to the airport and go on stage. That was a long time ago. Now it's like, it's my business. I'm running this business. And so it's like I told you earlier, I'm wearing so many different hats, like tour managing, merch guy, singer, writer, so that the help that I get from Facebook people is just, it's kind of amazing that people come and help us the way they do. Okay. I'm grateful.
And I'm gonna divert it to your biological family.
Yeah.
I've seen you live a few times already, and it's so difficult for me to see that same person on stage that swears a lot and calls everybody the way that they are, and then goes back home and has a 9-year-old son, and he plays Lego with him, and even sends him Lego that he built on tour.
Yeah. Well, I think it's anything like, well, not so much like acting, but there's a form of acting that I'm doing. But then again, it has its foundations in the truth of my world. At the same time, the guy that I am on stage is just not the normal guy that I am when I'm, walking around. I think everybody could say that, any metal guy isn't walking around the grocery store going, I'll take a gallon of milk. You know what I mean? Like, everybody kind of has a dual personality. Some people more than others. Me, for sure. I get up there, I'm aggressive, blah, 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 you know, and then when I get home, it's all just like daddy and husband and all that. So I have, there's a certain switch that I have to flip. At the same time, though, I'm always a father and a husband when I'm on the road, even though I'm not home. That's very important to me all these years later, now that I'm all grown up. But it's just like, you know, a fighter or whatever, you know, a fighter goes in there and gets so violent, tries to annihilate the guy across from him. But when he gets home to his wife and kids, it's all love and cuddles, you know.
But what about the crossover? I think your son was with you on tour, so he gets exposed to your music.
Okay, well, here's the thing. No, you're right. I don't feel the need to shelter my son from dirty words or stuff like that. Like, for instance, my son, has heard dirty words in music since he was born and never repeats them. At least I've never seen him, you know. I've never heard it, or nor have I been told that he swears. He doesn't. He's a little angel. So you know what? I grew up, my father was a pastor, a Baptist, you know, born again Christian preacher. And I'll tell you what, you know what they say, the preacher's kids are the worst. And I was the worst. So you know what, a lot of times it's you know, when you're face to face with your kids, that's when you show them what you need to show them. But like my son, I don't know, he knows how to separate what he sees up there to who I am, you know?
And what about being PC around him? Do you teach him to be PC? Do you think that being PC is part of the problem or part of the solution?
No, I think that you have to be PC. You can't go around disrespect. Look, I'm an atheist, but I don't go around, maybe I used to, but I don't go around like talking to Christians going, well, how could you believe in that? You know, or my mom and dad, who are both lifetime Christians, and my sister. I would never sit with them and tell them that I don't believe in what they believe. I just wouldn't. And I think that my son's very PC. Like, he won't discuss politics or anything or religion at school. He knows better. And he's only 9. But he just, I don't know, he gets that from my wife and I, where we put into him that, you know, you have to respect people. And you have to respect the way people believe, even though you don't believe that way. I think being PC just means being polite.
I'm going to ask about the way that the music changed around Head PE.
Okay.
Because as I said, you just got off the stage, so I expected a mixture of metal and punk, and you had some reggae and rap, but a melodica.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Well, melodica is very popular in reggae music, right? In Jamaica. I've been playing that melodica on stage for a few years now. So, and then now I'm like in love with the tone of it. And I'll tell you what, it's just, anytime I start playing it, I can feel the crowd go, oh, I like that. You know, I could just feel the collective vibe of people going, that's different, and I enjoy that. So that keeps me using it.
What about the shock? People's reaction is shock. Like, did I pay for that? What is going on? I do like it, but that's not what I expected. So do you enjoy it on stage?
I don't think there's any shock from Head PE fans.
I think it's all about shock. I think everything you do is shocking.
That's for you to say, not me. But I think the shock over the melodica works in my favor. You know, look, like tonight you've got 4 bands, all hard rock bands, all playing guitar, bass, drums, and singing. But only Head PE brought the plastic melodica, the $20 melodica. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, they bring the noise. I'm gonna take you back to your second album.
Yeah.
Called Broke.
Yeah.
And
put us on the map.
Yeah. And
I'm not mad.
As I said, you guys are asking fans to help either drive you or you got some gear. So is that still something that you like to embrace, the need for money? I mean, you have a new song called Pay Me.
Okay, well, it's not done in a fake way. It's just that even though I make a good living, I'm not making enough money to just, like I said, have every silly thing just taken care of, because, oh, here you go. Sometimes I'll tell you what, I might be trying to save a little money and I'll go to Facebook and ask for help from the friends of Head PE, you know? And I don't embrace the struggle because I don't want to struggle. I don't want my family to struggle. So what I'm trying to do is figure out this law of attraction shit so I can attract abundance and have my family never know that they'll never ever go hungry. So I'm still there, you know. I don't have like a huge bank account or anything. I'm struggling. I'm living, you know, tour to tour. Some people live check to check. I'm living tour to tour, you know. So I still dream about being a big star one day, but until then, I'll rely on the help of the friends of Head PE.
Okay, I'm gonna finish it off with a groupie moment I heard you had a few days ago?
I don't
when
know.
you met Conor McGregor?
Yeah, dude.
So did you actually turn into a little schoolboy?
Yes, I did. Like my bass player goes, I've never seen you like that. I was like, oh, whoa, yeah. Okay, like the story is that the first time I ever saw Conor fight or speak was his first fight in the UFC, and I was immediately like, this guy's gonna be a huge star. Even before I saw him fight, just the way he talks and the way he presents himself. And then when he went out and knocked the dude out in just this artistic destruction, then I became super fan. And then I bought a couple t-shirts from his company, Dethrone. Then the guy, I get an email from that company that says, oh, hey, I'm a fan of Head PE. And they sent me like $600 worth of Conor McGregor shit for free. So that, you know, that was the beginning of the story. And, you know, I told my wife, you know, when we get to Dublin, I'm going to Straight Blast Gym. I'm going there. I was just hoping to maybe meet some of his training partners, or maybe his coach. You know, but to get there, and I asked the kid there, I go, what are the chances of him coming? The kid's like, not very good. I just turned my head, and he's already there training. So then I waited 3 hours. The place cleared out. Finally, his coach goes, are you waiting for Conor? I'm all, yeah, I'm trying to get a picture. He said to go around back, so I went around back, and Conor McGregor came out, and we took a picture, shook hands. I told him I wrote a song about him. He said he fully supports that, and he was very gracious, and it was like a dream come true. I've never had a moment like that. I've never met someone that I've idolized, because I don't really idolize, like, as far as musicians, like, in terms of idolizing musicians, it would have to be like Bob Marley, The Clash, you know, Johnny Rotten, or but there was one other that I could say that if I met, I would be like, oh, whoa, and that would be Zach De La Roca from Rage.
That.
Right, yeah. So those, if I met, I would be, you know. Besides that, I really don't care about musicians or movie stars, but I'm just so impressed by fighters and their level of discipline and commitment to one discipline and art is just like, I'm impressed by that. I find a lot of parallels with what I do in terms of, you know, you have to be disciplined and commit yourself to what you're doing, or you're not going to make it.
I gotta admit that it was really difficult to find questions that were not political. Not to ask you about the truth and renegades and everything 9/11. So are you tired of talking about that?
No.
When fans come
I'm
up
not
to you
tired
and
of
viewers?
talking about it, but in terms of my records, I also was never interested in making it a gimmick or repeating myself with saying the same things over and over. Like it was a time, and I got my messages out that I felt were very, very relevant to that point in time. But I must admit that, and all that information is still in me and a part of my life. All the political, global conspiracy, ET reality. This has become a part of my life, but I don't feel the need to constantly sing about it, you know, because it's not a gimmick. When I sang about it, it's because I felt the need to. I don't feel the need now. On top of that, I don't feel that I'm the one to keep pointing out problems. I did it for 4 albums. Now I'd like to point out solutions, whatever they may be. So, of course, you know, I'll still, like, on the new album, I've got that song Wasted, which is a punk track about, like, religion and unity. So, you know, but as you know, between NWO, which was the whole album was about social topics, you know, now I'm more about shining the light at myself. Because, you know, that whole time that I was preaching about the truth movement, I was lying to my wife and lying to the people closest to me. Meanwhile, I'm all focused on the truth out here. What about the truth in here? So that's what happened. I broke down and had to start self-analysis, and then that's what's on the records now, that process, because I had to self-analyze and become honest in my life. You know the old saying, be the change you want to see. And that's what I had to do. I had to be honest and be truthful in my life and stop worrying about everything else. I think that that's what we need to do. It's both. At one point, you have to, you don't have to, but I feel compelled to vote and to change the world in that way. And on the other hand, I feel like when I'm at home and being honest and a loving father and husband, I'm changing the world in that way too.
Well, I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Jahred, anything else you want to say to fans and listeners? I know that finding forever
just
is
keep in
difficult.
touch. Keep in touch on the Facebook, so that when we come out here and we open for big bands like Alien Ant Farm, Soil, or Skindred, we get love. But what's important is that when we finally come back and headline, I need all that love to show up. You know, but dude, thank you so much for your time, man, and the good questions.
Well, and how about where can we find Forever if it's not in stores in the UK?
Shit, Forever, you're gonna have to, you know, if you hit me up on Facebook, I'll send you a copy myself. If you digitally, of course, there's iTunes, but if you want a physical copy, talk to me on the wall of the Facebook and I'll send them. I've done it before. I'll do it.
Okay, thank you very much, Jahred.
Thank you, buddy.